What are the top countries to outsource virtual assistants? If you're watching this video, it's probably because you have some weird bias in a certain country that you hired in after having a bad experience. And I feel like that is totally normal. A lot of times folks will have a bad experience in one country, and when they come to us to hire, they'll say, I'm absolutely not hiring in whatever that country was. But I do think that there is some truth in that different countries are good for different types of roles. My name is Paris Bland. I'm the founder and CEO of Digital Executive. We are your absolute experts when it comes to hiring in Latin America. So if you have any questions, if you're thinking about hiring in Latin America and don't know where to start, let me know. Or if you want us to run a hiring process for us, we'd be more than happy to do so. We have relatively reasonable rates in comparison to a lot of the other companies in this space, simply because we run a lean team all based in Latin America. So as somebody who hires exclusively in Latin America, I am going to today just tell you all the countries that we prefer to hire in and for what roles we prefer to hire in those specific countries. I'm going to start with Central America, and then we're going to work our way down. So in Central America specifically, we have had quite a bit of luck hiring in Honduras as well as El Salvador. So let me tell you about why I like these two countries in particular. El Salvador especially has had some major changes in the past 10 to 20 years. And because they've had such an upheaval within the actual country, you've seen a lot more opportunity for folks. So they're a great place to staff anybody who's doing operations work, admin work, virtual assistant work, or even some sort of call center where you need maybe IT tech support. They've really invested in education in the country over the past 20 years, and you're starting to see the current workforce reflect the country's overall investment. Now, for Honduras, what Honduras I think has specifically done very well over the past couple of decades is that they've had a lot of call centers in the country. So if you need a call center, a lot of folks in Honduras will already have resumes that are partial to call centers. So if you need somebody to do sales, if you need somebody to do customer service, they are 100% going to be the best country because people had so much training, and you can even specify. So if you want somebody who is familiar with the hotel industry, or if you want somebody who's familiar with IT or any sort of technical product, you can specify and find that talent in Honduras. Now moving down a little bit to Costa Rica. Costa Rica, I know, is a very popular spot to hire. The only thing I will mention, they do have fantastic talent, very high English fluency. It will be a little bit more expensive than some of the other countries in Central America for hiring. So definitely keep that in mind with Costa Rica. Now moving down to South America, there are a few countries that we hire in religiously in South America. I'm going to just start with Peru. Peru, I think, is a great place for anything creative. So if you are looking for designers, if you're looking for anything related to fashion, Peru really shows up in that way. The only thing I will mention with Peru is the English fluency rate, and the English proficiency rate does tend to be a little bit lower than some other countries. So you can definitely find good talent there, but you should be screening for English. But if you need a role where English proficiency is not the top of the list, I think Peru is the best place to source for creative roles. Colombia does soft skills so incredibly well. I really love working with Colombia. Just some of the soft skill roles that they had in terms of recruiters. If you need somebody to do anything related to human resources, they are 100% going to be the place to go. I know a lot of folks have hired for marketing and design in Colombia as well. We personally have not had very many successful placements in marketing in Colombia, but I know others have, so I would definitely check that out as well. But anything soft skill roles, HR related, Colombia is your country. Beyond that, Uruguay is also very popular. We personally do not hire in Uruguay, but we do hire in Argentina right next to it. Argentina and Uruguay will be very similar. You can apply both these tips to these countries. Argentina and Uruguay both tend to have a very educated population. College is free in both Uruguay and Argentina. So it's not uncommon to see folks going back and getting multiple degrees, and just education is at the forefront. Additionally, a lot of really major United States companies have invested in both countries over the years. So you'll see folks who have worked with companies like Ernst & Young, Accenture, as well as some of these other giant companies. So you'll have folks that not only have large corporate experience, but then have also niched down and have started to go into more specific marketing roles or more specific roles with smaller companies. So it's a great place to find anything related to project management and anything related to marketing, creative, etc. We love staffing virtual assistants in Argentina, mainly because they're not virtual assistants, they're project managers. And you just get such great talent in Argentina as well as Uruguay. And then finally, the last country that we have is Chile. In terms of staffing, I think that Chile is an amazing place if you're looking for high-level tech talent or if you're looking for a very specific role. We've seen a lot of success if we cannot fill a role just because it's too specialized or too technical. We actually prefer Chile simply because they will have some of these higher end roles for companies. And so a company might have a base in Argentina where they're doing mass hiring. And then in Chile, they might have a very small team with just a few folks who are getting very well trained. Easy example is UX UI design in Chile is fantastic. And it's just because, again, it's folks who are getting these specialized roles with US-based companies. So if you have any questions, if you're thinking about hiring in Latin America and don't know where to start, let me know. Or if you want us to run a hiring process for us, we'd be more than happy to do so. We have relatively reasonable rates in comparison to a lot of the other companies in this space, simply because we run a lean team all based in Latin America.